Welcome to Crappins. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappins On Demand level for instant recap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Watch Our Crappins, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today for a very, very messy episode of the Real Housewives of Orange County recap. We're not going to be messy, I don't think, but the show is messy. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Well, hello, my little Banoony Tunes. How are things going over there?
Things are great. I really cannot wait to dive into this episode because it kind of like blew me away. But before we do that, we actually have like a really
To blow you away?
It did. Like within
Not to
15 minutes.
oversell it or anything.
No, well, because within like the first 10 minutes of the show, I was like, this episode is already so messy. Like it is wild the number of things that are going on in this show. But
Yeah.
especially when you compare it to like New York earlier this week, where it was like, I'm making a pavlova. So let's be honest. But before we do that, we actually have like a really exciting announcement. This is something we've been slightly teasing over the past month or so. It's something we've been working really hard on in the background to try to make things better. We've been talking a lot about how we're going to be streamlining our Patreon. And we're really excited to announce that we are finally making our Patreon a monthly subscription instead of a quote-unquote per creation. We've talked about this before. When we first started up with Patreon in 2014, 10 years ago, you know, you could we set it up that like you like subscribe by creation. So like the idea was like, you know, you put out one podcast a week or a month, and that was the per creation. But you know, we put out like 1 million podcasts. So there's this whole bureaucratic thing that we've had to do in the past where we say, well, we do this many podcasts, but we're only going to designate some of them as creations. And then it's very confusing. And we tell people to put on caps and da-da-da. All our discussion that we ever have about you got a cap, you got a cap, you got a cap, it's all going to go out the window. It's just a straight up monthly subscription going forward, starting in November. And if you're already a Patreon subscriber, first of all, thank you. But second of all, nothing will change for you. Your subscription will automatically convert into a monthly subscription, but you'll be like, nothing will change in terms of what you are paying. It only changes if you change your payment method or change your tier, etc. But going forward from November 1st onwards, all new, well, really everyone who signs up, it's going to just be monthly. It will, hopefully this will take out a lot of confusion that's been on, you know, for people trying to deal with our Patreon of late. And we're really sorry for all that confusion that's caused. It's been a headache all around for everyone. And we're just hoping this just makes everything easier for everyone. So that way there's one less barrier between all of us and the fun stuff. So that is our big announcement. And if you have any questions, obviously you can reach out to us and Patreon, etc. But hopefully it will be
TLDR,
very
it was a
seamless.
clusterfuck, and it's not going to be a clusterfuck anymore,
Yeah.
which is so great. So yeah, thanks for everybody who's helping, and thanks for everybody who's so patient on Patreon with us. We love it. We love being there. And this is on Patreon right now, this video. So
yes,
go check
it
out our
is.
videos from every day over there. Let's get started on this bad boy. Real Housewives of the Orange County. The County
Wow.
Orange.
County Orange. I made a hot take on Twitter and I said this was Orange County's messiest episode since Naked Wasted. Although Michael Horn, our friend Michael Horn, I think it was its messiest episode since then. Michael Horn, though, mentioned that Ireland, the one with Kelly Dodd where they tried to get her drunk, that was also a pretty messy one as well. You don't think it was the messiest one since then?
Well, Naked Wasted was sexual assault, so I don't know that I would put it on the same
Naked
level
Wasted.
as that.
Naked Wasted was so messy that, meaning that like it's like, oh my god, this is wild what is happening on this episode. And I think that I think this episode was, I honestly I couldn't believe it. I thought this episode was so off the rails. Like the amount of stuff that was being dug up and thrown into the sphere to try to, like, you know, get people to different people's sides, the amount of issues people had, and just it was just wild. I don't know, maybe
Well,
it was
this
just
is shameless. This is shameless housewifery, like we're seeing completely inside now. You know, they've really started dropping that fourth wall on the show, and it's been super fun to watch kind of some behind the scenes stuff. Or, I mean, I remember when they started mentioning Twitter or Instagram and stuff like that. That was a huge step because they used to not be allowed to say
Yeah.
that. And so we used to call that housewife social media because they would always be like, well, I heard from somewhere. And always Twitter or something. And so now that was a huge thing, but now they're just straight up like, you were doing PI work on her. Well, you were doing PI work on her. Have to prove they're all doing PI work on each other. I mean, we've got it going on multiple franchises now, multiple cities, and it's hilarious. It's a hilarious peek into how these women really get once they get on these shows. It makes them fucking crazy. It makes
It
them nuts.
does.
And they start hiring private investigators and planting stories about each other and making friends with the bloggers. And then before you know it, it's just like the whole internet is involved in these plots. And it's it's a cluster. And today we're seeing the ultimate melting pot of all of that chaos coming together.
You know, we often joke when Game of Thrones or House of the Dragons, when we're doing Winter's Crappening, we often joke with people like, oh yeah, well, you know, it's not so crazy that we covered that show because it's really not that different from the Real Housewives. Ha 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 ha. There's backstabbing, you know, fighting, blah 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 blah, dragons. But the truth is that when you watch this episode and you see like how Tamra and Shannon are in this feud and they are basically doing whatever they can to bring people to their sides and to slander people who they perceive as enemies or allies of their enemies. And it's like this crazy political maneuvering basically because of their feud. It really is honestly like watching House of the Dragons, like a very blonde, vapid House of the Dragons. And it's, you know, it's wild. I mean, because that's what we're watching. We're watching a friendship that is on the outs at the moment, and they're just sowing destruction amongst their friend group purely to get back at each other. And in the end, all these people will be mad at each other, and then Shannon and Tamara will be like, I just care about you so much. I just care about you so much. I mean, you're my sister, and it kills me when you act like that. I don't want us to fight anymore. And then everyone else is going to be like at each other's throats and be like, these fucking bitches.
That is 100% true. They're going to end up making up because they understand what it's like to go this deep, you know? And
they go
really
so deep.
They are going so deep to fuck each other over. And it's amazing to watch it. It really is. And see it all exposed. And then just watch them just shamelessly exposing each other. And they're doing it in such a way that's like, who cares? So what? We exposed each other, you know? And no one's even surprised. That's the thing. And even the kids are getting messy. It's like, wait a minute. The kids were deep throat. It's like the kids were on the phone the whole time with Page 6. You know what I mean?
This is bringing in children. It's bringing in the FBI. I mean, Prince Charles, you can make an King Charles, you can make an argument was somehow brought and he was invoked at one point. The point is that
Page 6 is like, we've got some serious information about Gina abusing her boyfriend, and it came from someone named Shane Face. So let's just go with it.
I don't know. I just was maybe I was, I don't know. I just was watching. I was like, that's wild. Also, ironically, I was in Orange County last night. So maybe I just was really feeling it. I have to say, so I went, Matt Maher from the Reality Gaze podcast, who we love, he gave me a ticket to see Ina Garten be interviewed by Julie Louis-Dreyfus down in Irvine. So I went down there, and I was so amused by the fact that this giant performing arts center, almost everyone was blonde. You were either blonde or you had white hair. And then there was me. And I was like, yep, Orange County, here we are.
Yep. There you are, right in the mothership of the
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Sure.
Actually, it was great because I really was like, the truth is, I am in a giant theater full of lady bends. Like everyone here is like basically a blonde lady version of me. And I was kind of excited by it.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a really good time. Really good time. Steve Blondes, little Ina. Hope she mentioned Pavlova's because we haven't heard that enough this week. Okay, so let's get to it. So Jen is hilarious. So last week she started. Well, she really became a hero of the internet last week, a folk hero, because she went in and just let Tamra have it. And it was so lovely to see the coming out of Jen. You know, it was her big moment on the Housewives. She did it great. And now she can't stop. Now she's addicted.
Yeah.
And then
Uncorked.
seriously, every scene, she's just yelling at Tamra. And it's so funny because it's so inappropriate. It's like, here we are at breakfast, everybody. Oh, shut up, Tamra. I've had enough of you. I will not listen to another word you say. Eggs Benedict. Eggs don't addict. How about that? Eggs don't addict. Is that a good one, everybody?
You want to talk about addicts? How about we talk about Ryan? It's like,
Jen was just not having it. Would you guys
Jen
like any more water or coffee or anything before I bring your check? You know what? I would like Tamra to have some manners. Can I order that? Okay, Jen. Trying to finish up with the breakfast here.
How about some pancakes? I'll tell you about pans and cakes. I would like to pan a review for Tamra and throw a cake in her face right now. I've had enough of her. I know it was a stretch, but I'm new at this. So we pick back up in the middle of this fight. So Jen has just stormed off. So Heather goes pokes her head up into the hallway and goes, Jen, are you still here? She goes, you know what? I am still here. Oh, good. I was wondering if you could bring me a coffee. Thank you so much. You are the maid, right?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring some telling off of Tamra. Oh, God. No. You don't have to do that. Jen marches back in. And she's like, and another thing.
Heather, I am not interested anymore. Heather goes, I hear you. Can you just give me a second? Okay. Can we not yell? And Tamra, don't clap. And she's like, yes, she was yelling. She's like, okay. Don't clap.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Reba's not here. We are in the middle of takes. We don't have clapping now. Okay.
It's like what Wendy Malick told the live audiences before every time I came on stage. Do not clap.
And just like, she can do whatever she wants. If she wants to clap, that's the only thing she knows how to do. Clap, Tamra. She's like, all right. Let's all calm down. Let's all just calm down a second.
Talk shit about me, talk shit about Ryan, and then cry that you fucking love me. You don't fucking love anything about me. Which, by the way, like, this feels like it should be like a monologue in like gay lore. Just that line alone sounds like it's just something that we gays will be reciting for like 50 years. Talk about love. You don't love a single thing about me. So Tamra's like, I'm not gonna talk to you while you were yelling. I love what Tamra having the balls to pull that line. I'm not going to talk to you while you're yelling, when she has spent most of this season acting like a cocained up chipmunk, screaming at everyone. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know what a cocained up chipmunk is like, but I'm imagining it's like
possum.
Possum
on a dumpster.
Coked up possum. Possum coke.
So she's like, here's the thing. Nothing new has happened. This was 2 years ago. You know, when it's not Heather, she leans back. She does this with her hands, like she's swatting away a ball. She's like, whatever, it was 2 years ago. Who even cares? Really? Because you were caught with the paparazzi like 2 years ago, weren't you? Or a year and a half ago, but it's still extremely important to you to discuss that, Heather, you fucking hypocrite. And Tamra, she's like, yes, 2 years ago, but you're also negating the fact that Shannon had a hand in this. And that is why we need to call the loony bin on Shannon and have her 5150, everybody. Finally, we're going to finally make this come true.
So Jen tells us, Heather, somebody says you staged paparazzi pictures and you freak out. You're going to sit here and defend Tamra on this? Get out of Tamra's ass and be your own person. So then she says, the fact that I thought that for years you were a friend, Tamra, I was the idiot. Well, I mean, we could have told you that a long time ago, Jen, but I'm glad you're seeing it now.
Yeah.
For so many reasons.
Jen calls it, she's like, Heather stages paparazzi pictures. She's accused of that and she freaks out, but now Tamra's fine doing this, And so Jen's like, fuck you. You don't have a soul, Tamra. I mean, I don't even understand you. I don't understand you, Tamra. By the way,
that's not nice.
Everybody, can I just say, everybody who's in this room, thank you so much for letting me get this out. Fuck you, Tamra. Still fuck you.
Okay, you know what, Jen? That is not nice what you just said, that she doesn't have a soul. Everyone knows that I'm the one who's soulless. So Tamra is like, you know what? We were not in a good place last year. We even admit that. We acknowledge that, bitch. And Jen goes, well, when you're not in a good place, you go on background checks and things like that. And Heather goes, she didn't do a background check. Just be careful. Your math's gotten you into trouble before. And Jen has like her finger out and she's like, it's fun because she has her finger out and it's like she's never used it before. So it's like this little magic wand that she has that's sort of like shaking and moving around. And she's like, whoa, I didn't know I could even do this sort of thing with my finger. It's so accusatory. I love it.
The finger point is powerful once you learn it, you know?
Yeah.
And Tamara's like,
Okay, here's what's going on. 2 years ago, I was at the gym, and a guy came up to me and said, I was friends with Ryan. He's got a big dick. He kept sending it to me. But he kept sending it to me. It was always flaccid. I was like, I want to see it. It was so flaccid. It was such a flaccid.
Tamra, stay on topic.
Okay, back to my monologue. Doodly-doo. Doodly-doo.
Oh, are we doing anything goes? I know how this goes. Doodly doo, doodly doo. Anything goes, anything goes.
Well, I couldn't believe he would show his face after he was named in a lawsuit for selling timeshares in another country, and they weren't building them, and they were collecting the HOA money for it. And people would go to jail for it. And so I sent that to Shannon, and then Shannon said, oh my God, you got to give this information to Leslie Bedore's ex-husband because he's named in a lawsuit.
So
no, she's saying you have to get information on this because Leslie Bedore's ex-husband was named in the lawsuit. Okay, so
this is already very messy out of the gate. You have to admit, this is wild. We're just dropping
Orange
this
County
whole
really
nugget.
is connected. I mean, they're all connected to each other, which is hilarious. Shannon's like, wait a minute, this gossip involves David's new wife. So Shannon was just asking for information before this gets so convoluted. Yes, Shannon wanted it investigated, but only to use against Leslie Bedore. She didn't give a shit about Ryan. Why would she? She didn't give a shit about Jenna Ryan. She wanted to get at Leslie Bedore. So just to get that out on the table.
Yes. Also, I don't know why Tamra didn't try to explain any of this to Jen. Like when Jen comes in hot like that, why is Tamra not like, Jen, I know you like, okay, let me tell you the story. And but Tamra like waits and then tells it behind her back. So then Tamra tells us, Shannon asked me, do you know anybody that can look into this lawsuit? And I go, well, I have a friend that's a lawyer and I can maybe have him check it out, bitch. So now we see screenshots and there's talk back and forth. And basically the screenshots say we see that Shannon's like, can we do a background check? Like that's the TLDR on that one is Shannon does in fact ask, and I am chuckling. I'm like, this show is so fucked up. Because this is the second episode in a row that they've done this to us. Last episode, it was the whole thing with Heather and the mammogram. And then it turns out, Heather had actually texted this thing the night before. And now this one, we have Jen all whipped into a frenzy about Tamra doing a background check. And it turns out Shannon was the one who actually asked for it, even though her motive was something different. Shannon was the one who asked for the background check. And then it's like, well, this is what Tamra does. She runs background checks. The twists and turns keep coming.
Yeah, but Tamra was the one who used the information. Shannon didn't. Shannon didn't give a shit. She's not using the information. And to me, it's like all back to the Lucy apple juice stuff. You can accuse her of shit, but Shannon didn't use anything. I mean, they're accusing her of, she wanted to know about Travis so she could use it use it against you at the reunion. Okay, well, even if that's true, she didn't use it against her at the reunion. So there was no crime committed. It's not a crime to want to do something,
Right. I think the point is more like, and believe me, I'm not on Tamra's side with any of this, but I think the point is like Shannon really does lead Jen down a path where like Tamra is so vindictive that she just decided to run a background check on Ryan. And it's like, no, but Shannon, you were part of that too. Like you literally, you basically were the one who got the ball rolling on that. So it's just so funny how they use this information.
Kind of, but Tamra's the one who said, I heard something from my guy in the gym that this guy has illegal timeshares and he's doing this and that. And Tamra said,
that's true too.
Shannon was the one who said, okay, fine, then look it up. But Tamra's still the one who started all of this shit. She's still the one who
Yeah,
did it.
yeah.
Like, she
Oh,
needed Shannon to
100%.
tell her to do a background check. She would have been doing that shit anyway. Give me a break.
100%. I'm just saying Shannon was real sly in removing herself from her role in this, which, I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
chuckling. I mean, these two are just ridiculous.
Yeah, they're a pair. They're quite a pair. So then Eddie's like,
Yeah, well, Eddie said to send the info in writing to production so there's a paper trail.
so Eddie's fucking messy too. 'Cause Eddie
Well, what else
Eddie's
is new?
been enough years in this game that he's like, get it to production.
Yeah. So wait, you keep going because I lost track of where we actually are in the notes here because there's a lot going on.
So Shannon's like,
Well, apparently blank is suing blank for child support, for back child support. Can your friend look up the case?
and I guess this is
These are the
she's
text
talking about
messages, yeah.
she's talking about her ex. And so Tamara's like,
They need to know Ryan and his ex-partners are dangerous
and Shannon says,
because this stuff is going to come, and I don't want it potentially assumed that anyone in my family brought it out. So you look it up.
she didn't say so you look it up. I guess I should read verbatim since this is the text. And then Tamara's like,
Well, I don't know if Ryan went to jail. Blank needs to know what they're dealing with. I'm asking my friend's husband if he can do a background check.
okay, so Tamara still is the one who came up with background check.
So Tamara's like,
If Shannon would have known, Jen would have shown Jen the entire text message. Oh, that's right. It would incriminate Shannon, bitch. Shannon was equally as concerned as I was that Ryan's a shady motherfucker. It's not the type of people I want to surround myself with.
as if Tamara surrounds herself with, the most high-minded, non-tacky, non-awful people in Orange County.
Yeah, only the classy people.
Yeah.
Were they at my baptism in a swimming pool? That's the only way I'll speak to them. Those are the only people I'll trust.
So Heather's like, well, you didn't tell her the story like that. She's
No, I'm not going to because she's screaming and yelling. She wants to listen to me. I will talk to her, bitch.
But that's the problem. It's hard when you're with somebody and they just fucking light you up about something. She's like,
Look at me. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. 27 toothpicks, 27 toothpicks.
hey, Tamara, focus. You're not Rain Bitch.
Okay, what were we talking about?
the most important part of all this, which is that her stomach looks really good. I had envy. And Tamara's like,
Yeah, it's like a tummy talk.
shh, we don't talk about people's surgeries, only that they had them and that they should use Terry.
Well, she
So-
admitted they should know better about my specific. I didn't know that.
So now Jen goes to Katie's room and she's like, hi, what are you doing? Do you have a minute? She's like, well, I'm about to get dressed. Are you okay? Are you leaving? What's wrong?
I don't know. Maybe I need to take a walk or something.
Wow, I've never seen you act like this. So yeah, let's go have a drink. So then we go out to Shannon. So Shannon, meanwhile, goes out to a park and she meets up with her daughters, which is wild because you know it's that weird thing where kids go off to college and then like within like 2 months they look like completely different people.
Yeah, so like
Wow.
we're adults and we're fucking now. We have berets. I'm like, whoa.
I know. And then one of them has like lost her voice. So now she really seems like she's 35. She's like, hi, mom, how's it going? Things in Paris are great.
And I shouldn't say they're fucking, but they're just like, oh my God, I need a man, mom. It's like, whoa. And Shannon just is like, whoa, I'm dressed like a first lady. How dare you disrespect me like that?
All the Orange County has been leached out of them. You know, the Parisian one is, it's not that she looks Parisian, but she definitely doesn't look Orange County anymore. And the one that's going to Parsons now looks like New York. And I can only imagine what their interactions are with their older sisters, since I forget the older sister's name, but she's like down in Texas. She's been with a guy since she was like, like 19. They're probably gonna get married, live in Texas, have like, they're clearly more conservative leaning. And I just feel like when they all get together for family dinners or like Thanksgiving, I feel like it's probably some like, future play that's gonna be on Broadway. I can imagine like tension and political disagreements.
Yeah.
And I love it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what do you know? You never even left Texas. Oh, I don't need to leave Texas. I don't have to go all the way across the world to find happiness. Stella.
So Shannon's like,
Whoa, who would have ever thought I would be able to see both my daughters in chimney sweep London? Whoa, how do you do? Curtsy, curtsy.
like, Mom, please stop. All right. Can't take this.
Come on, you want to go walk and get something to eat? I'm going to have a storyline about not being able to push it out later, so let's make it carby.
Okay, let's go to this restaurant. It's called Sticky Mango, which, okay, that sounds great. I would love to eat at a place called Sticky Mango in London.
And so they sit there and they order. I was concerned because one of them orders like pad thai and the other one orders like roasted baked potatoes. I was like, I don't know what's going on with this menu. Anytime that happens, they sometimes on these shows they go to restaurants and the menus just do not make sense.
Yeah. And it's London. So you never know. They could have tasted exactly the same. No offense, London. Love you.
No offense, but we know there's going to be no seasoning.
Of course, we come from the country of sodium, so you know
Yeah,
we understand all angles of this, London. Okay, so so they're talking about the girls, and Stella asks about how Shannon's doing with the girls. She's like,
Well, that hasn't been very good. You know, the stuff that's going on with Tamra and I they've just not been very kind to me. London's been fine, but the girls have been not very kind to me.
Typical. It's a toxic friendship, Mother. You guys were very close last year, and now she's switching it up. It's BS. It's like I was telling my old friend, Jodine. I was like, you know what? My mother's got it real bad right now. She's got a bad toxic relationship. I said, Mother, you got to get out of that trailer park and come out here to Paris.
Shannon's like,
Well, have you met any boys?
I've had my fair share. It's like, oh.
She's like, I wish I didn't hear that. But
Yeah, there was Johnny, but he left me because he added life on the road with his band. And then there was Paul. He was a truck driver, came through Paris once in a while. We had a good time. A lot of guys, Mother.
A little bit of Joey in my life.
I fell in love with a man named Francois, which was very on the nose for someone from France. But either way, he played the marionettes. And we don't play the marionettes. He had marionettes. Anyway, I fell in love with him. He died. So anyway, Mother, what's going on with you? He fell into the Seine. His feet got tangled up in the marionette strings, and that was then for Francoise.
And Adelaide goes, yeah, you'd be surprised. I'm honestly pretty dry right now. It's like, well,
You're all single ladies.
I think I'm tired of this. I don't know what they did on the train to you from Paris.
Mother, when I say we're all single ladies, that's your chance to do the song.
Oh, sure. Okay. Oh, say, can you see?
Not the national anthem, Mother. Jeez, come on, Beyonce.
I'm not familiar.
I'm not. Was she before or after Neil Diamond?
All right, so now we go to Heather and Tamra walking down a London sidewalk. And Heather's like, wow, it feels good to walk, doesn't it? Just kidding. Alfredo, get over here. I'm walking. Two West boys come up and just lift her above their shoulders.
Walk me. So they go into a caviar spot called Caviar House. And they sit down. They get a table for three because I forget which was going to join them. I think Gina, which is hilarious. So Heather's like, this is my kind of place. So they settle in and everything, and they order some drinks, and then Gina does in fact join.
Hi, oh my god, this is so nice. I had some work stuff. I had a deal fall apart, which is always fun. It's really sad. I was going to sell this hot dog shack and it just fell through. So, oh well.
I guess they're just going to have to stay in the kiosk.
I guess someone else is going to have. Guess we're going to have to find a new buyer for the piercing pagoda.
It's really rough. But God, ever since I left the office, all I can hear is hot dog, 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 hot dog. Okay, please stop. It gets in your head. It's an earworm.
Apparently the buyers didn't like that I built a wall in the middle of the kitchen. So Tamra's like, well,
Guess what? I got a surprise visit. Oh my God, was it Gina Keogh? No.
By the way, I think the reason why Gina Keogh jumped into my mind is that someone on the internet, God, sometimes the internet's amazing. I think someone on TikTok made this video, which I think was like AI. It definitely was AI, but it was one of these things where it was like it made an 80s version. I don't know if it was like a filter or AI, whatever, but they made a little video that took cast members from Real Housewives of Orange County and gave it like this 80s soap opera look. Did you see this, Ronnie?
No, I haven't seen it.
So it was like the opening credits to like a nighttime soap from the 80s. And it took all the OC cast members and also Archie, which is kind of funny, and also some previous cast members. And it sort of 80s-ified them. And so you would see them all. And it was like, oh, there's an 80s version of Tamra, an 80s version of Gina. And they were all like the essence of these people. But because it was AI, they all looked kind of off or different. And it was like, that's Gretchen, but it's not Gretchen, you know? And it was hilarious. But the best part about it is that they put up Gina Keogh, and Gina Keogh looked exactly the same. I love that 80s AI Gina Keogh is the exact same as Gina Keogh. I mean, you could make an argument that 80s AI, anyone from Orange County on the show Real Housewives of Orange County, is basically the same version, but it was like the Gina Keogh one was absolutely like it was like, oh, AI didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to do any rendering.
Classic. I love that. Funny. Okay. Yeah, I need to go check that out. Okay, so then so Gina's like,
yeah, okay, from who'd you get the surprise visit from? Was it Gina Keogh, Vicky, Neil Diamond? No.
Neil Diamond, who is that bitch?
So she's like, it was Jen. And Gina goes, oh, I know. She's agitated.
Agitated is not even the word for it.
So then we cut over elsewhere into old London town where Emily, Jen, and Katie are walking down the street. And Emily's like, how do you cross the streets here? Do you push the button or you just go? And Jen's like,
streets are so different in London. Do people just walk out into the middle of the street? There must be a lot of fat people with funny accents. Oh, hey everybody, I've got a muffin in my purse. This is hilarious.
Jen's like, let's just go. Excuse me, double-decker bus. You don't get to do that. You are soulless. You are wrong in this situation. I've had enough out of you. It's like, wow, she really has changed.
I'm going to double-deck Tamra. That's just about to get double-decked.
So Emily's holding up her hand. She's like, this is how we stop it. Stop! Stop! I'm an attorney. All right.
So then they go to a place called Burlington Arms, and Emily's like, where are the coats? Where are the coats? Burlington Arms. So anyway, they sit down, they order some food. Jen orders Malibu and Diet Coke because that's like her signature cocktail, which is great for her. And she does this whole spiel about like, I don't care what city I'm in, I'm getting Malibu and Diet Coke. Love seeing her so empowered.
Do you have Malibu? You do? Malibu? You have it here? This is crazy.
I can't believe they were able to procure a very popular and common alcohol in this foreign land.
Wait a minute, you have Diet Coke? What? My day has just improved immensely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know what I'd appreciate if you'd not keep in stock? Tamra Barney, what a monster.
You know what? I don't care if I'm at the beach in the Bahamas or in the town of London. I am drinking a Malibu and Diet Coke because I've been to China and
that's
Newport
it, really.
Beach. That's it,
China.
really. I went
to the Bahamas and Vegas.
I've been to Fashion Square and Laguna Beach and Sensations in Huntington. I've driven to Redondo and seen Los Angeles and gone down the 405. I've been to San Clemente and San Juan Capistrano and Tustin Auto Mall. I've been to Orange County, but I've never been to me.
Wait a minute. Why are you giving me the check? Please leave. Please just go. So Jen's like, oh, so this morning Tamara said, I'm sorry to do this to you. But then she digs people up. And then here you go. Oh, you want to see? It was a text thread of Tamara saying, I'm having my best friends run a background check on him. That's what she did. And Emily goes, on Ryan. No, Emily, on the fucking bartender. Okay?
On Carol Burnett. Okay.
I found out all that. Every time she tucks her ear, it has nothing to do with her mother, bitch. I know all the truth.
So Jen is like, yeah, it was on Ryan and Carol Burnett. She hits everyone. And I literally, Emily, I lost my fucking mind. I don't blame you. You know, when Tamra doesn't respect someone, there's no boundaries. None. Zero. Sorry, Jen. She doesn't respect you and she doesn't respect Ryan.
So then we go back to the other girls, and Gina's like, oh my God, I saw their text messages. This is bad. I mean, because Tamara, honestly, if you would do that to her, what would you do it to me? Would you do it to Heather? I mean, I'm being honest here. I'm being honest. And you know what? I just don't like relish on my hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot. I'm sorry. I can't get it out of my head. Please stop.
Are you a con man like him?
So then we go back to Emily, the others, and Emily's like, you know, you are an adult woman, and this is the person that you chose, and he is good to you, and he's good to your children, and he's good to those fine people who sell jean jackets with paint on them. Someone's got to buy them, and he steps up to the plate. And I think that's amazing.
Well, now I do. I mean, I think it's kind of pathetic the rest of the season, but now it's fine. Just like, well, 100%. Thank you. So then back to the other girls. Gina's like, you know, Tamara, you know what I'm saying? It's a problem. You know what I mean? And Heather's like, I do not condone digging things up on anyone. Why do you think I'm so disgusted with Katie? Oh my God, this isn't about you, Heather.
She's like, finally, I get to bring it back. I do not condone digging up things on anyone. In fact, I also just don't condone digging. That's for other people to do. Alfredo, we need you to dig something. So, yeah, she's like, Katie, who tried to do that 6 months before she ever met me. Don't forget, I'm the victim here today as well.
And Gina's like, oh my God, I can't believe what a liar Katie is. That's not good. And Tamara's like,
I want to tell you something. My turn. Tell me. I went candle making with Katie and our daughters. And Callie said, wait a minute. Callie's the one that's 19, right? Yeah. And she said,
so we were allowed to talk about her on camera, and she is a full adult, and she no longer qualifies for children are out of off limits.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she said to me that she was Emily's kids.
And then we see Keller and Luke, Emily's 9-year-old twins, playing rock, paper, scissors. And Tamara's like,
and then she said, I have to tell you something. And Katie's like, yeah, listen to this.
And then we see Callie.
So yeah, now we're back in the candle making scene, which was a lovely scene when we watched it. Little did we realize it was actually a sneaky little setup for another venomous storyline. Yeah. So Katie goes, oh, Tamra, listen to this. And Callie's like, I was like, oh yeah, have you met a lot of your mom's friends? Like, my mom is just getting to know everybody. And they're like, yeah, but we don't really like Heather. And I was like, what? Why? And they're like, because she's mean to our mom and she yells at her a lot. And then they're like, yeah, our mom says Heather's bossy. So Callie says this, which honestly, Katie should not have encouraged Callie to say this on camera. I think that was really tacky. And I just also like, just don't let, Callie's 19, but don't do this, especially saying it to Tamra. But of course, who would have thought it was a nice mother-daughter candle making session. And now here it is. It's back.
Well, earlier this week we had a kid thing, like the kids. I would never ever gossip in front of my children. How dare you? I would never talk about what's going on with the girls in front of the children. I would never do it. Well, yes, you would. Every mother does it. What, every mother waits to gossip
Yeah.
till their kids are gone? Give me a fucking break. I mean, I knew everything going on in our house. I sat with those
Yes.
tennis ladies every night, and I didn't drink the
I
wine. They
knew.
drank the wine, and I got every bit of tea there was to spill.
Same. But also, like, I'm sure we could probably go through the archives and find all the shit that Tamra's talked in front of her son, Ryan. Okay, let's be honest. There are probably many, many scenes of it whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said whatsoever. Whatsoever. There are many scenes of it whatsoever. That was that was like very Gina of me.
You know what? There's a lot of scenes of that whatsoever.
So let's see. So Emily, Heather's like, Emily's kid said that. I'm so popular with the children.
But on television's Heather Dubrow.
So Tamra goes, yeah, Emily's kid said that. And I thought I was a good judge of character.
You know, me implying like, I liked Emily. I thought I was a good judge of character. Tamra is saying that she's a good judge of character when she's in feud number 45 with her best friend, either Vicky or Shannon, but then also claiming she's a good judge of character. I'm not sure about that.
Don't you have to have good character first? I mean, isn't it like becoming a judge? Because to be a judge, you actually have to be a lawyer first. You're not just a judge. You know what I mean?
You have to be a lawyer. Based on
Don't
my
you?
ballot, it's like I feel like on the ballot, it's like, well, you know, Gerard Kropotchnik, who works at a goldfish shop, is running for a judge at the 45th district. I'm like, oh,
Is that true? I thought you had to like be a lawyer first. Okay, well, I take it back. I mean, what do I know? Jeez, what an absolute moron.
I don't.
Wait,
maybe you have to, but sometimes it feels like some of these judges. I'm like, where'd you come from?
Wow. Okay. Well,
I could be wrong.
Failed. I don't want to talk anymore. I'm pretty much done with this.
Please don't learn about our government through me, okay, everyone. But do vote. But don't learn about the government from me. So Tamra's like, yeah, I thought I was a good judge of character, and Tamra's like,
there's something deceiving about her.
So Heather goes, children, repeat what they hear in the house. Hold on. Careful the words you say. Children will listen. I sang that in the attic in Syracuse many times over.
And Gina's like,
Oh my God, I know, Sheen. And even if Emily was in a house talking shit about you because you guys were in a fight that day, her children would never be around her when she did it. I know her. She's got such good morals.
I'm like, give me a fucking break with
So,
this. You're all such
yeah.
trash, acting like you suddenly have morals around your children. Please.
Yeah. I believe that Emily and probably Shane aspire to not talk about adult affairs around their kids. I also believe they don't realize how much they're actually talking shit around their household. And I also believe that these kids are exposed to a lot of people that say shit. And I would not be surprised if there are people, I mean, their parents are on TV. I would not be surprised if somehow it kind of percolates back down into them about Heather Dubrow. So, like, this is not, like, to me, this is not surprising. This is the risk of when you're going on these shows. You cannot insulate your children, especially apparently in Orange County.
Oh, yeah, especially not in Orange County. That's where shit really gets vile. And they're really getting into it over there. So then Tamra is back, flashback to 2 weeks earlier, because Tamra's like,
well, I had breakfast with him. Doodle-doo-doo, doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo.
And we see breakfast with Emily and Gina and Tamra. And she's like,
Katie's daughter told me that the twins said, we don't like Heather. She's mean to my mom.
And Emily said, well, that's not true. And my boys told me that Callie told them Heather's mean. And I said, don't ever say that again. She'll beat us all up and push us into lockers. We'll never work again. She's horrible. I'm sorry. Did I just say that? Hold on. I have a taco in my purse.
Wow.
So Emily is saying the boys said that Callie actually was the one who's planting these ideas. I mean, it is possible, but also, like,
I love Callie.
I don't know if
with children.
Yeah, it's like she's gonna gossip with kids. I don't know, but like, isn't it like, aren't the kids like famous for literally fabricating stories all the time? Like, this is a big thing that happens when children are witnesses. That I remember learning about this when I took psychology class in college, that like kids are like deeply unreliable witnesses, and we like to think they're actually being really honest because they're kids, so they just sort of say it as like what comes. But actually, kids change their stories all the time. I'm not necessarily saying that these kids are lying, but I feel like it's good to take a big grain of salt when you're talking to kids about this stuff, because they will also say whatever it takes to get out of trouble. Okay.
That's
I
so
mean,
crazy
look at
that
this
you
show.
learned that in college. You're so smart. I learned that from watching Law and Order as I was dropping out of high school. So it's funny how we just get to similar places. But yeah, don't trust children. Children are not trustworthy. They're evil.
It's just
They're
like, to me,
monsters.
honestly, if I'm listening to these two stories, one is that the kids say like, Heather's mean to our mom. Like, I believe, and like Callie telling the story because it's funny that these kids said it. Like, that makes sense that she would tell that story. But like, kids like, hey, did you say this thing? You're in trouble. No, she told us to say that. Like, which story are you gonna believe?
Yeah. Not the kid. Just don't believe the kid. I mean, they believe
Either
in Santa
way,
Claus, little idiots, which goes to show us that you know who else is a liar? Parents. Adults are liars
parents.
as well, because look what we feed. No wonder children are liars. No wonder we all grow up to
No,
be liars. We're like, it's totally fine. We're allowed to lie to you because of these stipulations. You were young and stupid, but now we have to tell you because you're 10 or whatever it is. By the way, I hope I didn't ruin anything for anyone driving their children to school. But if I did, you know what? Toughen up.
just say that
So
Callie told us to tell you. But
Kelly did it.
Callie did it. But so anyway, I think that ultimately, though, still Katie is like, it's not, Callie should not have brought that up on camera, and Katie should not have been like, wait, do you hear this? Katie should have shut that down right away. However, I actually think the bigger villain, surprise, surprise, in this situation is Tamra, because Tamra's the one, sort of going right back to what we're talking about before. Tamra's the one who's actually weaponizing this. She's using this thing with the kids and she's bringing it onto the show, and she's using it in a way that people have to take sides and get angry about what the kids did. And it should just be like, the thing with the kids, just leave it. And she
Yeah.
is actually using it as a tool to get back. Right now she wants to get at Katie because Katie is friends with Jen, right? So
Yeah.
she's gonna now villainize Katie as well to punish Jen.
And
It's sick.
Callie too, which is so fucked up because she's really, that whole lunch was like, oh my God, our daughters are both awkward and have no friends. And so we should really get together so that our daughters can bond. And like, they had this really bonding moment of like, let's get our kids together. Now she's like,
Oh, yeah? Do you know what her weirdo daughter with no friends did?
Yeah, she's now promoting a narrative that Callie is going around telling 8-year-olds that Heather Dubrow is mean. I'm like, listen, they could just rent Coraline.
I'm sorry for the evil laugh, but like, I literally cannot help it.
Is
It's
this
so
not the
fucking
most? This
funny
is
to me.
such a messy episode. Do you realize
It's
what we're
so
talking
funny.
about right now? We went from background checks and FBI, and now we're talking about some like, who's correct here? The 2 8-year-olds or the 19-year-old? Like, what? It's fucked up.
Literally hilarious. Like, I can't. I love it. Okay, so then what? Where are we here? Okay, so then Tamara's like,
Katie's so calculated. She's got a heart on for Heather. I thought she was a really sweet girl, but then Gina pushed her into giving out all this information, and now I feel bad for blaming Gina, because the whole time, it was Katie. It was Katie all along, bitch.
it was you all along. This has
Yeah.
all been you. Every single thread in this has been pulled by you, man. So
I am out with her. To use your child as a megaphone is a different kind of insanity. Not even Wendy Malick would do that. Well, maybe she would. You know what? To be fair, I think she 100% would. I have had it.
that woman is a real bitch, come to think of it. So then we go back to Jen. So Jen's in her room now talking to Ryan, and she's like, oh, well, hi, Ryan. Are you there? Ryan, you better have picked up earlier, you motherfucker. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just, I'm on a roll. Anyway, everything I questioned about Tamra, no more questioning. We're not friends. It was all bullshit. He's like, yeah, she's got no soul. And I said that today. I said, you've got no soul. And guess what I've got? Malibu. Malibu with Diet Coke. Suck it, Tamra. That's my drink. And you're not going to tell me not to have it.
And then when I said it, Heather Dubrow was like, okay, that's low. And I was like, it's actually not low enough, Heather Dubrow. And then I was like, that rhymed. And I was like, I do have soul, because only people with soul can rhyme. And I was like, see ya. And I dropped the mic, except it was actually my Malibu and Diet Coke. And I was like, fuck, that was the last one in the country. It's been a rough day.
He's like, okay, well, have a great night. So then over with Heather and Tamra, they're getting their hair done. And Heather's like, before dinner, we're going to etiquette class. That's it. I don't want to hear anything about it.
I'd like to point out that the last time they had an etiquette class on the Real Housewives of Orange County, amazingly, was the same episode as Naked Wasted. Isn't that wild?
Is that true?
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I remember when we actually did a live recap of Naked Wasted a few years ago. And I remember we talked about the etiquette class, and I went back, I verified it. I was like, the entire time I was like, this is the crazy. I'm like, this episode's already like up there to me as Naked Wasted. And then I was like, oh my God. And then there's an etiquette class as well. I think there's something about Tamra being confronted with good manners that causes her to just go wild. And even though the etiquette class came after the things that we've described, she's in London, which is, I think just to be in the UK, you just feel like your manners have to be better anyway. And I think it just agitates her. I think it just sets her off, and she just becomes more, craven in the face of it.
She really does. Do you remember when we were doing that recap and we were thinking like, oh, let's just find something old. And we saw Naked Wasted. We're like, that sounds funny. I mean, I think this is the one where they got Gretchen drunk on purpose. We were hazy, basically. And then we took the notes and we were like, oh my God, this was about sexual assault. Like she was literally trying to sexual assault. And then we were stuck in this recap about sexual assault. Oh my God, that was the worst. And it still turned into a really fun, good show. But oh my God,
well, that was a wild episode. We'll never forget that one. Anyway, they're glam, and then meanwhile elsewhere, Shannon says goodbye to her daughters. And like, bye, Mom. And then Jen and Katie and Shannon walk through the lobby because they're going to be going to like Windsor Castle today, and Shannon has not pooped in 3 days, and says she's bloated and she's hurt and she's backed up and constipated.
Yeah. So she's like, oh my God,
Oh, I'm sorry. I mixed two scenes together. They are sitting down for the etiquette class. I apologize. That's where we're at.
Oh, okay. They're just talking about the poop. So
I have not been successful. I haven't gone to the bathroom in days, and I'm having some pains, flames on the side of my face. There's a bit of bloat going on. I'm backed up. I'm backed up. Hold on. I'm backed up.
So they all sit, and then a lady comes over. She's like, hello, ladies. I'm Laura Akamo, and I'm going to be teaching you English dining etiquette this evening. Katie's like, oh my God, I love that. And everyone else is like, oh my God, was this a fucking Heather event? Who else would do this?
So then Emily, she's like, all right, I'll be ready to start the English table etiquette. And Emily's like, oh my God, you said that. Hello, everyone. That laxative is kicking in. I'm going to shit my brains out any second now. What are we doing? Etiquette?
Hold on. I've got a Subway sandwich in my... Okay, Emily. Enough you. So then they are talking about pooping some more. Emily and Katie. And Emily's earlier in the day was talking about how she can't poop, but then Katie gave her the laxative, so now she can't stop pooping. So then Shannon's like, poop pills? And Katie's like, yes. And so now they're talking about poop, and this lady's like, ladies, you're not talking about, I've got to go, I'm about to shit the world. That's what I'm about to shit. How do you do that politely?
Who needs etiquette in our group the most? Well, this notion that Katie has to spread lies about people, and now her daughter is doing it too. First lesson in etiquette class, no. I'm like, okay, you need to relax. So they go through this, they're learning like how to hold a fork and how to hold a knife and how not to be awful people. And
Yeah, they don't get to that part, unfortunately. They don't really get past the second fork.
Yeah, they still come out of it sort of acting like cave women. But Jen is like, okay, I may not know where every fork goes, but I do know I have never thrown a napkin in anyone's face, and I've never spit a loogie back in my drink. And I'm doing that right. And then we see footage of Tamra throwing that napkin, which they always show that footage as if Tamra threw a chair across a restaurant. Can you believe it? And then Emily's spitting into a
someone's
martini.
face. So then Laura, who by the way, this Laura is killing the scene, right? And not in a good way. She's not great. She's not very charismatic. I mean, I don't know if there are charismatic people, but she's just like a white
Was
table
Dame
setting
Judi
would have
Dench
you on
busy?
Seriously, like,
Come
can we
on.
get a Tilda in here? Tilda, I don't even think is English, but I'd take her, you know. And so they keep moving on to the fork, and she's like, and here's how you eat: your knife and fork stay in your hand. And then they're like, wait, what do you mean? And she goes, is that how you eat? And Heather goes, that's how I eat. Gina goes, wait a minute, the whole time? No, meaning you don't switch. Oh, that's good, because I was about to try and drink my water, and then I would have poked myself in the eye.
As Gina grabs the knife with her hand. I was worried. Honestly, there was part of me that was like worried I was gonna like run into Gina at that event last night, because I was like, of all the people, probably Gina would go to like an Ina Garden thing.
Gina?
Yeah, I think she would. I think Gina might do something. She's like, oh my god, I love her.
She
Well,
uses
actually, Gina's
jarred
really more
sauce.
Gina's more of a Magnolia table now that I think about it. But either way,
Yeah,
I was like,
she's like more of a Rachel Ray. Rachel Ray is
Yeah.
like, just use jarred sauce with regular onions, and then boom, bam, you've got your own recipe.
I thought it might be either Heather at the event or Gina. Heather would be like, someone from the Hamptons is here. I must get there. Or
Heather would be in the back while she's making her nanny watch Ina. Learn something. I'll be returning texts.
Hello, this is television's Heather Dubrow. I should be on the list to meet Julie Louise-Dreyfus. We are both contemporaries of in the field of acting. So, am I on the list to see? Go backstage? No. But I was like, if I run into Gina, what will I say? Like, if she's like, you guys are so mean to me on your podcast, and I was like, you know what? If I run into her, I know exactly what I would say. I would say, Gina, I know we talk a lot of shit about you, and to that I say,
I feel bad. I'm sorry.
I feel so bad.
I feel so bad. Didn't have to worry, because I think they were actually shooting the reunion yesterday. Maybe was it yesterday? Were they doing that yesterday? The reunion, or was it a few days ago?
They've done it. They already did it a while ago, a couple weeks ago, I think.
I'm very current.
Yeah, because Andy said apparently on his show, he said, this it was actually quite calm and easy, which no one wants to hear.
Yeah, no one wants to hear that at all. So anyway, etiquette. It's happening. It's funny, and they're joking. They're all, bad at it. We see flashbacks of them, violating etiquette in many different areas. And this is how you hold a spoon. This is how you hold a fork, etc. And Tamara's like,
That's so many rules, bitch. Hey, Laura, I heard you talked to Emily's children, said that Heather's mean. Heather, you're upset now?
she's like, I don't know who these people are. Please hold your fork. Please hold your fork in your right hand. Thank you very much.
Can I ask you a question? This whole holding your knife and fork thing and never letting them go or never switching, I thought you were supposed to grab the fork with, the knife is on your right hand side, so you pick up the knife with your right, you pick up the fork with your left, then you hold the fork over whatever you're cutting, cut with your right, then you put the knife down, and then you take the fork with your right hand, and then you eat.
That's what I've always done, but
that's what I thought. That's what I thought you were supposed to do.
It's very American. It's very American, but like in Europe, the real sophisticated way is, I think you do keep it on the left, and then when you eat from the left, you take the fork. The fork is, you sort of go down with the fork in your left hand, and then you sort of bring it up. Like it's like I normally knife is cutting in the right hand, and then you put it down, and you put the fork into your right hand, and you sort of hold it. I don't have an implement here, but like you hold it sort of like it sort of comes in like horizontal. It's sort of like it comes in perpendicular to your face like this, right? But like when you do it
Show me
European
again. I wasn't
style,
looking. Show me again. It comes perpendicular
like
to
the
your
fork would come in like this to your
Oh,
mouth, right? Like you pick it up and like it's coming in,
with your left hand.
like yeah, well, come with your right hand. This is my right hand that I'm using. And so
Oh,
it would come in like this. I'm using my readers now to represent a fork. Here. This is
okay.
this is my fork. You come in like this. It's like a line going across your face. But when you keep it in your left hand, you stab it with the left hand, and then you kind of like bring it up almost like vertically against your face and eat it like that. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes. Okay. So then,
Is it
where
actually
are we in this?
interesting? Is it actually
Well, I mean,
interesting
it's,
though?
I mean, it's etiquette. So how interesting can it be? But I was just curious because I thought someone just taught me the other way fairly recently, and I think it was a housewife show actually. So I thought I got classified, but I didn't. So I'm just upset with myself that I've been so gauche this whole time.
Well, like American
What must
etiquette
the
is
people
like
at Baja
JV.
Fresh think of me?
Yeah, no, we're talking about British etiquette, so this is like the big leagues. I am so caffeinated. I'm having the best time today. This episode is so good. So now the lady goes away to go talk shit with all her friends about like these stupid Americans that I had to actually teach, quote unquote, teach if they were capable of ever learning anything. So she goes off, and Heather's like, all right, I would like to air some grievances, but I don't want to say that I want to air some grievances. So instead, let's go around the table and everyone pick their best and worst part of the day and get the ball rolling on that front. Thank you very much.
Oh, you mean the pit and the peak?
I thought it
Why
was
does
the
she-
pit and the peach.
Yeah, or like Rose and Thorn is like classic Bravo analogy. I hate the pit and the peak. You know what I hate about pit and peak?
What?
It should be peak and valley, not pit and peak. I hate that Gina says pit.
Yeah,
and peak.
peak and valley. I think she means to say the peach and pit, peach or the pit. What was your peach and what was the pit, right? I don't think it's
Maybe.
peach and well, I mean, whatever.
Either
It's
way,
Gina,
either way,
you know, she
whatever
probably
it
saw it
is,
on
I
some sign
hate.
spelled backwards or some shit.
I know I hate pit and peak. Peak. What was your peak and what was your valley? Or Rose and Thorn. That is the Andy Cohen method.
That's a classic. Yeah, the rose and thorn, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's next?
So Gina goes,
Well, okay, well, my pit was definitely having to wake up early because I had to help Emily curl her hair.
and Emily goes, wait, that was the pit?
Yeah, because like I would have rather slept, and and my peak was seeing the girls, seeing the daughters. That was really nice.
So Gina, since she's going first, she doesn't realize how pity her pit can be. She doesn't realize that she's allowed to say, my pit was learning that you talk shit about me and that you mentioned this shit and that you violated me as a friend. So she's trying to keep it nice and cute to start it off.
Yeah. She's like,
My pit with that hot dog, not getting to eat it all. It looks so good. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog.
so then we go to unseen. We go to Tamra saying,
You know, I think the fun part was today when we had caviar. That was so fun. Then I tried to ruin Katie's life, and then I swung back around and tried to ruin Katie's daughter's life too. That was so fun.
Yeah, wait, how was Gina's wait, did Gina even say what her peak was? Oh, seeing the girls. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, the time goes,
Yeah, and then my pit, it's probably having Jen come to my room and yell at me about something that Shannon provoked.
and
You
Shannon's
know,
like,
Tamra, you know what, Tamra? I am done with your lies, and I'm not explaining. Oh, God, I gotta poop. I really gotta poop. It won't come, though. Oh, why would we even bother sitting? Ah,
It's not a lie, you're a liar. I have a lot of text messages. No, you called me and you asked me, you're lying, you're a liar, and you're a drunk.
I was like, this is turning into Arrested Development, right? Like, speaking of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, like literally it was the Julia Louis-Dreyfus episode, I think it was, where Lucille and Oscar were yelling at each other, and Lucille's like, you're high, you're drunk. And that's what these two are doing right here.
it sounds like
lying,
Christmas
you're
at my
drunk.
house. Jeez. So Tamara's like, you don't remember anything you say. You're drunk, you're drunk. And Jen goes, that is so tacky, Tamara. That is so tacky to say to somebody when they're sober. You should wait until she's drunk to say that. And Gina's like, you got to stop with the alcohol thing. It's her journey. She's walking a very unstraight line on it. And that's it. Oh my God. Her journey just crashed into a house. Shannon, are you okay?
You know what? Could you just stop bringing up the alcohol? She's on her own journey. She's going to get from point A to point B to point C. Although in her case, she has to recite it backwards. But you know what I'm saying here.
Shannon's like, you need to stop, Tamra. Why are you believing stupid drunky drunk over there? Shannon's like, you know what? Because in the time that I've known Shannon, she's shown me more of a friendship than you have. And if I want to be left alone, I want you to leave me alone. I want you to leave Ryan alone. I want you to even drop the menu. You don't even deserve the menu. Leave the menu alone, Tamra. How dare you, Tamra?
And I don't even want you to order a special, because guess what? You're not special.
Okay, all right, you need to settle it down. You know what, 10 years ago, I had a conversation.
Tamra, have you said anything about Ryan this year? Have you talked about him being a bookie? Have you talked about a Ponzi scheme? You better fucking shut your mouth. Like,
oh, yeah, how come? What's he gonna do? Put a hit on me?
Which kind of goes to prove that Tamra doesn't believe anything she's saying, because that is a legit fear, isn't it? I mean, I don't think you should be coming after bookies like that.
I have no idea, but the fact that it is a legit fear, again, supporting my thesis, this is one of the messiest episodes. We went from like, whose side are you on, an 8-year-old or 19-year-old, to like, hey, be careful what you say because her boyfriend may kill you. By the way, I want to give I have to give belated props to Gina. I come down so hard on Gina all the time. I'm so mean to Gina. But I thought it was actually really cool that she told Tamra, you know what, you got to stop talking about the alcohol because it's not right. Because you know what, she was absolutely correct about that. It's really fucked up that Tamra keeps on doing that. Like it's really not right. And it was cool that Gina stood up in that moment.
And even when she talked to us, she's like, whatever, I just said it one time. I barely even called her an alcoholic. Oh, you're so full of shit. So then Heather's like, you are not doing yourselves any favor by talking like that, Tamra. And she's like,
I apologize to Jen earlier, okay? I'm sorry I had a conversation with my best friend back then. I'm not gonna have her go and turn everybody against me like she turned that car. She can't even turn a car.
You know what? She's not doing that. Am I against you? Is she against you? We are trying to get you to take responsibility for your side of things. That's all. Oh, yeah? What would you like me to take responsibility for?
You know what, Tamra? I'm good. You can hit the road. I'm good. So we're good? No, we're not good. So when I said I'm good, it doesn't mean we're good. It's the exact opposite. It's opposite days. So guess what? We're not good.
So we are good?
No, guess what? Opposite day is over. So when I say we're not good, we're still not good. And I'm saying, shut your fucking mouth.
Why is your mouth open?
It's opposite day.
God damn it. I can't even play this game with you.
Don't you understand?
Well, I don't understand. Is it opposite day or is it not opposite day?
It's opposite day in California, but since we're in London, the opposite day is over. Okay, it's time zones, bitch.
So Heather's like, wow, Jen's impressive. I've never seen that. So then Shannon's like, well, I think that I'm wiped out
Of alcohol? Is that why you're gonna go lay on me?
Tamra?
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna stay quiet.
Wiped out? I thought it was the house that got wiped out by your car, bitch.
So Emily's like, I am doing the non-poop dance and the don't poop your pants dance. That's what I'm doing. So Shannon's like, I'm nearly going to faint. Oh, God, we're all so tired. We need to go to bed. We have an early day tomorrow, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that someone can stick something into my butthole so I can poop. So let's get a good night's sleep, and we're going to go to the countryside tomorrow where we can say, top of the morning to you. Ciao.
Jen's like, I could fall face first in my pasta, or you could eat it. Eat the pasta. Why do you still have that much left on your plate? I'm trying to stand you here, okay? So everybody goes to bed, and then Katie and Jen go back to their room, and Katie's like, God, do you really just want to sit there and listen to her yell and scream? She's like, no, I've already had my fair share. So then Katie's like, wow, this group of women is not for the weak. I mean, it's wind on the 18th course trying to get a hole in two. Know what I'm saying? Rough times out there.
Pun intended. So Jen is like, she's like, she is throwing allegations at Ryan that are unacceptable and damaging to my family. And Katie's like, ugh, thank God my family hasn't been damaged by any allegations, right? Everything's fine over on my end. And you know what?
Dun, dun, dun.
You looked so fucking hot telling her how you felt. You really did.
So
And
then over at Heather and Tamra's place, Heather's pouring some champagne and she's like, so are we doing this or are we having a glass of wine downstairs?
I have a glass here. You never know when you're going to get drunk, run over.
And then back in Shannon's room, she's talking to Emily and Emily has a big pomegranate half. And she's like, did you see this? And she arranges it like a carrot, like with a dick and balls next to Shannon. And she's like,
I was like,
Are those the size of Travis's balls? I'm trying, girls. I'm really trying.
by the way, who puts pomegranate halves or just has pomegranates anywhere even close to a whole bunch of white bed sheets? What is wrong with this lady? Sometimes I do not understand Emily's thoughts. Emily's grown on me quite a bit, but the moment you bring a leaky ass pomegranate near some white linens, you're gonna lose me.
she doesn't care. She doesn't have to clean it. And that's
Yeah, I
Emily
guess
in a
not.
nutshell, buddy. So
So-
then they start joking about how Travis's balls get really big when they're full of spermatozoa. And Shannon's like, is that true? She goes, I don't know. I think so. But they're huge. They're huge. So Shannon's like, this has been so fun and lighthearted. Let's talk about how more I've been victimized tonight, ladies. She's like, oh, God. Okay. She goes, it is really cruel. It has been so cruel. It has been so hurtful. You want to release? You should squeeze a pomegranate.
You know what? I do want to release, but I don't want to squeeze an avatar for Travis's balls. I just want to say that I can't tell you how grateful I am for both of your assistants. When you two ambled on to our little show so many years ago, and I thought, what are these two accountants doing here? And they're like, you're not accountants. And I said, really? Because they are just about as interesting as they are. And they said, don't be like that. They're your new castmates. And I said, you got to be kidding me. These are not our castmates. And then you stayed season after season after season. And I thought, what are they still doing here? I couldn't believe it. And I said, I just don't want to talk to these women ever in my life. But it turns out that when you lose all your friends, you two really step up to the plate. And I just have to say, thank you for being people I can talk to and not truly respect, but for right now, have communications with. Thank you so much.
You two are like lettuce in a fridge. I never want to eat it, but when there's absolutely nothing else, I look at it and I put it on a plate and I think, do I really want this? And then I ordered McDonald's from DoorDash. I forgot what we were talking about, but thanks for being here, ladies.
You're like the can of chickpeas in the back of the cupboard. And I say, well, I should have a healthy dinner. I can always have those chickpeas, but then there's always something more fun to eat. But then eventually you get around to those chickpeas and you realize these were actually pretty good. And to that, ladies, tonight, you are not just chickpeas. You are garbanzos. Welcome.
So in the other room, Heather's like, okay, now listen. You need to talk to Jen, Tamra. You need to do it the right way and say I'm sorry and not scream and call people drunks. And Tamra's like,
Okay, if I have the opportunity ever again, I will.
she goes, okay, I'm glad we talked about that. Because can I tell you something else? I was jumping out of my fucking skin. I did not look at Katie Woods tonight. I mean, go Rose.
Gross. Kobe. She does like a little basketball. So Heather's like, and you know what? It involves all the kids. It's fucking messy. I'm not going to give a shit about it. It's Shannon's trip. She's excited. We're going to have a nice day tomorrow. Because you know what? The last thing I want to do is ruin Shannon's birthday, which is exactly why I'm going to pull her to the side in the middle of a birthday celebration and get her very agitated.
Call her a liar. So then... So then we go back to Shannon and she's like,
Oh, God, and the shit that Tamra brought up, really, Tamra? Really? Well, I'm not going to walk on eggshells anymore. I've had this conversation before. And Gina said, well, keep my distance because I don't know what she would do coming after me. Well, is she going to go into Travis's divorce shit and bring that stuff up too?
and
almost
okay.
on cue, we go back to Tamra saying,
And hey, Bet, you want to hear about this, Heather? Shannon called me last year, right before the reunion, said, you need to get Taylor Armstrong's husband involved. He's an attorney, and we need to find out if Gina pushed Travis down the stairs.
Heather goes, what?
I'm telling you, this episode has everything. So Tamra goes, there was an article, and I remember this because this is like one of those headlines that sort of circulated into our podcast now and then. Like, isn't there a story about Gina pushing Travis down the stairs? So Tamra
We
goes,
could never get answers for it, but it's such a fascinating story. It's like, is that why she? And that was the talk at the time. Was like, is that why she quit drinking because it got so violent over there that she pushed him down the stairs? Like, what is going on over there?
And the best part is OC has been on long enough that this is the second did someone push someone down the stairs rumor that's been on this show. The first
Kelly and her
Dot
mother. Yes, Kelly and her mother. And although I don't think that one was ever dispelled.
I don't think that was true.
You don't think it was true?
No, I don't think so. But I just think it's funny that this is a rumor that's like, what is this? Like the Dolores Claiborne cast? So Tamra's like,
Well, there was an article that came out. Shannon asked John, can you dig this information up, see if there's legal papers? And Taylor ended up calling Shannon and said, John doesn't do stuff like this. And also, I know billionaires. And then Shannon said, well, that's very nice. That has nothing to do with what I'm
Do you
asking
know any
about. And Taylor said,
billionaires? Do you know any billionaires that do this? That'd be great. And that's when
So-
she contacted Elon Musk and asked him to investigate Gina pushing Travis down the stairs, bitch.
So we see the headline. Orange County's Gina Kirschenheiter accused of pushing boyfriend Travis down the stairs during a fight by his ex and putting kids in constant fear as he files police reports.
Yeah. Yikes. My gosh.
So Heather goes, that happened? And Tamara's like,
yeah, Shannon mentioned it a couple of times.
so now we go back to Gina and Shannon and Emily. And Gina's like,
You know what? I said, Tamra, you have to understand, when you do something like this, I am not worried that you would do this to someone else, myself included.
and Heather's like, then we go to Heather. Are you going to tell Gina? And Tamara's like,
I don't want to hurt Gina, but you're dancing with the devil. She should know. This is what you're dealing with. This is your good friend, Gina.
It's a public service announcement, bitch.
So Heather's like, listen, get a good night's sleep so we can ruin people's lives with energy.
It's like, that's good to be.
So then the next day, everyone's getting ready to go and getting dressed, etc., etc. And then Emily comes up to Shannon. She's like, did you sleep okay? You were so emotional.
Well, it's so much. I had a dream, and in the dream, I was being victimized. And I woke up and I realized it's not a dream. It's not a dream. It's not a dream. Am I awake right now? Why am I so hurt?
You're awake.
Ouch.
Oh, I thought I was dreaming that I would actually wake up in the morning and be happy to see Emily Simpson, but I guess it's just a waking nightmare.
so we see. So
I
Shannon.
woke up and I just saw undressed iceberg. Thanks for being here, Emily.
Oh, Titanic makes so much more sense. Iceberg straight ahead.
So now we have an inception moment because we get a flashback to the previous night because Shannon's saying that she's annoyed with Heather. So flashback to the previous night. Emily and Gina are telling Shannon that Heather told the whole group about the conversation in Sonoma that Shannon and Heather had. And then we get, as our note taker Nadine says, a flashback within a flashback. So now we're in level 2 of our inception. And we see Heather saying, gather round, ladies. Actress speaking. In Sonoma, Shannon told me that she believes that John heard the crash. She showed me her text messages. She gave me a timeline, how it's impossible for him not to have heard the crash. And everyone's like, oh. And then we come back to the initial level 1 flashback, and Shannon's like, are you kidding me? And then we come back to present, and Shannon's like, are you kidding me?
I'm going to just table this so we can enjoy the rest of the trip that has been horrible for me.
So then now they're all in the Sprinter van and they're going to do the separate tours kind of thing. The first van is Emily, Tamra, and Heather. So Emily's like, I don't like to sit on the inside. Hey, can we see Windsor Castle? Are we going to take a tour? I just want to see what it's like to poop there.
Now the other women get into a Sprinter van, and Shannon's like,
You guys, I had a really major stomach pain. Is it cramped? Do you feel bad? She's like, yes, I do feel bad. Wow, it's so bad. I'm saying bad.
and Katie's like, well, it does come in waves, like my
You fought?
personality.
Give me a thing. Oh, sorry about that. Say it again.
I was just self-dissing myself. I said it comes in waves, like my personality.
Oh, I'm glad we paused for that. That was funny. Okay, hey Shannon. Shannon, pull my finger.
Yeah. Oh,
Ow.
okay, I'm pulling it.
I didn't fart. Can you fart? Let me pull your finger. Pull. Ow, I'm being victimized.
I have sudden onset arthritis. Thank you very much, Gina Kirschenschneider.
So then she's nauseous. So they're like, you know what? She's like, I have to.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I need to go. I need a nap. I need an enema. I need to go upstairs.
So she goes weeping back into the hotel.
Like, I just think I can't do this. Oh God, hello, etiquette lady. I'm just crying because I haven't shat in 5 days. Okay, take me to my room. Give me an enema.
The etiquette lady is packing her boxes because she's been fired.
She's like, when you administer an enema, please keep it in your left hand and keep it in your left hand.
It's like,
The pain. I need an enema. They just shoot it up and then you go right. It goes right away.
and so then it's been 3 days since Shannon's last poop. I wish we got that as a chyron on the screen. 3 days since Shannon's last poop.
I know. Where's David Bedore's finger when you need it? So
I know the one thing that man was good for: removing emotional debris from an anal canal.
That's right. So Shannon's like,
Oh my God, I'm so fucking embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed.
I mean, Shannon, why didn't you bring your little portable colonoscopy? Well, not colon cleaning thing, whatever it was, not a colonoscopy, but. So now the other women have arrived in Windsor, which is outside of London, and they're walking around like,
Oh my God, this is so cute.
and then they're like, they decide to do an Abbey Road kind of thing. They're like, Heather's like, excuse me, British Alfredo, could you take a photo of us? We're going to pretend like we are workers on a street. It's like,
No, it's Abbey Road. It's the Beatles.
I don't know who those are, but it's going to be a fun photo.
They asked Tamra if she knows who the Beatles are. She's like,
Yeah, I know the Beatles. They're stupid, small, ugly bugs. I squash them. Sometimes they smell bad. Sometimes you can go up to them. They start rolling up into a little ball, try and run away from you. I say, you're not going to get away from me, stupid little beetle. And I squash them anyway.
those are roly polies.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, but there's John Lennon, it's Ringo Starr, Elton John, Adam Levine, the lead singer from Creed. Who else? I don't know.
So
When she said Elton John, what an absolute dope.
I know. So they take pictures. I also, for some reason, I thought this was very amusing to me. This was so Heather. They walk, but there's some swans. Swans are the Heather Dubrows of birds, we all know. And these kids are throwing bread at these swans. And Heather walks up to the children and goes, "Oh, that's cute. Where'd you get the bread?" And the kid's like, "You can have the bread if you want. Thank you so much." I wish there was a camera close up because when Heather said, "Where did you get the bread?" her eyes turned black and she looked into their souls like, "Take the bread, take the bread. We're gonna go."
I think she's like, "Where did you get the bread so I can report it to the police?"
I also love that that these ladies are so carb adverse they don't even understand the concept of where one would even get bread. Where does one buy bread in a town?
You can have it, lady. Mother, we saw a scary old lady at the swan pond. Please, mother, hug me.
Please take all bread. So then she goes, "Oh, look, donuts. Let's get a donut." And I was like, "You're not gonna eat a donut. Shut up." It's just so true. I love the Heather Dubrow trying to be relatable scenes where she's like, "Look at me wanting bread and donuts with humans. We are on a street."
I never made my Syracuse University dream of having an all-female version of Les Miserables come true, but me taking this bread from a child is about as close as I'll get to Jean Valjean.
20601, am I right? So then back with Gina and Katie, they're waiting for, now this is also the second time we've watched someone get an enema on camera. Actually the third, because the first was Shannon with her emotional debris in the bathroom when David had to stick his finger up her butt. And then we got Jen last season when Shannon was coming out with her own enema and she wanted that whole thing figured out. And then this one. So is that 3 or have we had more? I feel like we've actually probably had.
We can give an honorary one to Reza and MJ for sticking tubes up their butts, and also
no, I mean on this show.
I know. I'm just giving them an honorary one.
Okay.
I also, by the way, for some reason, something that drove me nuts was when they were walking around town, going back to that for 1 second, when Tamra looks at Windsor Castle and goes,
Windsor Castle? Who lives there?
I'm like, it's the whole reason why you're going there. It's where the royals live, you dumb fuck. How are you walking around Windsor and not know what's going? Like, why? Don't you understand? That's why you're there.
Yeah. It's sad. I mean, I don't even have anything to add to
I'm
that.
so outraged. I called her a dumb fuck. Of all the things Tamra has done, this is the thing that broke me.
So the other girls are doing an enema, and Katie's like, I gotta say, it's not the first time I've not only brought enemas to a friend, but I've also, oh no, this is the first time I've brought enemas to a friend and also offered to administer them. And Shannon's like, I think I got it all up. I got it all up. They're like, okay, great. Thanks for the update.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Achoo. Okay, it came out. It all came out. That's
So
amazing.
we go from her pooping out her hole to the ladies eating donuts, which was not lost on me. And so they're eating their donuts, and then they sit on some benches. And Emily's like, okay, so Gina told me that you had a conversation about the thing that has to do with my children, and that has to do with Katie. And now we have a flashback to Gina be like, oh my God. Like it was actually kind of bad. Like Tamra brought up the incident with Callie when Callie babysat your kids, and Heather was like really upset when she told her. And like Heather started to cry. And by started to cry, she started to throw glassware at workers, which is her version of crying.
It was so sad. I felt so bad. Are you a real man?
Stop with the cat in the hat shit. I'm really distraught.
Sorry.
So Emily basically is like, I was never going to bring this up. She's just going to let it be, which is what it should have been. But now she's like, she said that the boy. Oh, sorry. We go to Heather, and she goes like, she said that the boy said something like, "Oh, how horrible Heather is. Heather is so scary. If I were holding a loaf of bread, I would just give it to Heather just to get out of her face." I mean, I don't know what the kids these days.
I don't think they said that. Well, they also said, even though she's an award-winning, fantastic, amazing actress who we admire greatly. Well, they definitely didn't say that.
Hey.
Sorry. But look, I don't talk about adult material in front of my children, and I would never talk about you negatively in front of my children. Oh, bullshit. Every mother comes home and goes, you know what? You know who's a real bitch? Heather. Heather really fucked it up today. I'm going to kill her. And you're not hanging out with her daughter either, that little slut.
I am like so fucking upset. She's like, my kids didn't say that. Like, and if for some reason they did, why would they repeat something two little boys said when your daughter was babysitting them? That's sort of a fair point too. So Heather's like, she's like, I just find it so incredibly disturbing. Isn't it odd that Katie has some connection here? It feels hinky. So
yeah, but
Emily
also you're an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, is it so crazy that someone says Heather is mean? Is this your first time ever hearing that you're mean, Heather? You're literally mean. Everybody knows you're mean. Your husband, just go back to 2 episodes ago where Terry is like, it takes 10 times to apologize to you. The first time, then the second time, then the third time.
Do not admonish me.
You're mean. Everybody knows you're mean. Stop crying like it's new news. Okay.
We will adjudicate this later. So Emily's pissed. And because she's also pissed because it's also implying that Emily was talking shit in front of her kids, and that makes her a shitty parent. And she also feels like her boys are being thrown under the bus, and she's now also being put into a position where she where it's an issue. But it's like, but Tamra's the one who really put this out front, right? Yeah. So even though Katie does not off the hook, Katie deserves some blame too. But Heather's like, this, you know what? That is a planted bullshit story to try to attack my character. And even though, I am a very good character actress, I don't want my character to be attacked. So you know what? She fucked with the wrong Marine, which was a character I once auditioned for on CBS. Unfortunately, I did not get onto the NCIS, but it was a lovely experience, and the producer said they would love to have me in the future.
So then back with the hotel, Shannon poops. So she's like, I did it. And they're like, whoa, yay. So then back to Heather. She goes, okay, let's talk turkey. And Emily's like, okay, well, I got a text from Gina. Shannon got so sick. She did an enema, but now she pooped. Tamra's like,
Oh yeah, she probably did. She probably knew what she did was wrong, and there was going to be some retaliation.
And Emma's like, what? And Tim goes,
Gina.
oh, what has to do with Gina? Is it bad?
She goes, oh, it's not good. 6 months ago, Shannon was digging up some information to bring up at the reunion. So she contacted Taylor's husband, John, who's an attorney, to see if there's any legal information about Travis's ex-wife, and Gina, and it was going to be a smoking gun to bring it on to the reunion, bitch. It was awful.
wait a minute, that's fucked up because that has to do with her children. Like this had to do with my children. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all fucked up. Okay. Well, as her stepdad has to do with that. As a mother, her relationship, all wrong things.
So what's the goal? To win? I honestly wasn't listening. Once it was off me, I didn't really care anymore.
Heather, why is this a big deal? The kid said, we heard that Heather's mean. Emily didn't like you at the time. You were being mean to Emily at the time. So why is this something you need to cry over and have huge revenge over? I just don't understand why this is like, oh my God, children said I'm mean. You know who probably else said that? Every checker outer ever of any store that you've ever been to. Any driver. Okay, any hitchhiker who you've probably thrown a Diet Coke can at their head as you pass.
Richard Marks. So they all gather for a Sunday roast. They're all meeting in like a pub for a Sunday roast, and they sit down. Both groups are together. Shannon's not there just yet because she's recovering from her explosive enema situation, and so they sit down and Gina goes to the bathroom, and all of a sudden everyone just hears Gina in the restaurant and you're,
I feel mean. I feel mean. I feel mean. I feel mean.
like, what is that noise?
Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog.
And Gina comes out. She's like, oh my God, I thought it was the flusher, so I pulled on it. It was the fire alarm. I can't.
I thought this is the weirdest toilet. Bring.
I wonder why her real estate deal went down.
And over here is the primary bedroom.
She like breaks a window.
Oh my God, I thought it was clear. I was opening a door.
So Gina's like,
So, did you get my text message, Shannon? Tamra? Because Shannon got so sick, she needed to go upstairs. She was in so much pain. She goes, oh, really? Does she have the flu or what? Oh, wow. Oh, Shannon.
Some random like flu disc.
Oh gosh, it's the flu.
The
Gina's like,
brain
no.
flu or what?
So Shannon comes in with that happy, fragile smile of hers, like,
Hello. Sorry about that. I had to do an enema. I didn't want to do it yesterday because today's my birthday. So it's my favorite way to celebrate. Anyway, how's everything over here?
It's nothing like abdominal pain to celebrate another year income. Oh, yeah, do you have a boy or a girl? Actually, I had twins, and they're already too good to speak to their mother. So that's great.
It's so nice that we're celebrating my birthday here in this pub. Last time I went to a pub for my birthday, David Bador ordered me food that had a sugary sauce on it. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for that callback.
I'd like to thank everyone here for not respecting my dietary choices. Okay, let's get to it.
So they order their food, and Shannon's like,
So what did you guys do today? Was it fun? I'm sure there was nothing awful that was talked about.
and Emily is like, yeah, we walked around, we fed swans, stole bread from children, things like that,
And by the way, the king's in the palace right now. Gina goes, oh my God, the king is here.
Katie's like, what? Is there a palace?
where do you
I thought
think
there
he
was only
would
a
be?
castle."
Where would he normally be, you guys? Come on.
He's seeing Harry Potter in the West End. So Heather is like, yes, because the flag is up. That's also what we do when Richard Marks is in the basement of our house. So Tamra is just to let Daisy know where he is.
Oh my God.
So then now they're talking about Shannon's like, well, I was just talking about are you annoyed, Shannon? Well, I'm so sorry. No, it's okay. It's hard to sit in the middle, but I was wondering if you're upset about something, because now she's like facing away from
Back is
Heather.
to me, yeah.
Yeah, she's facing away from her. And she's like, oh,
Well, do you want to talk? Can we talk?
she goes, sure. Should I take my drink?
No, I guess. I'm like, what?
I don't know what sort of outrageous requests we're going to be making, but apparently, if you want to take your drink, you can take your drink.
So this
Am I
meanwhile,
a waiter now? Did you want me to take it? Jesus Christ.
so they head outside, and meanwhile, Jen, they're all like, "What's happening?" So they sit down outside, and Shannon's. They have blankets. They have blankets that they wrap. It's cold outside. So they have blankets that they have wrapped, and Jenny goes,
Is this washed?
I didn't even pick up on it.
Is this blanket washed?
I was like, I don't know. Well, what's going on?
Oh, well, I spoke to Emily and Gina last night. When we got back to our room, when I was in Sonoma, it was a big decision for me to come and talk to you privately on camera for America. And when we first got together, we said we're going to build trust. And I thought you're the perfect person for me to talk to. And I came to you. And what's upsetting is that, I showed you this photo of me, and then the girls told me that night when I went up to my room, you sat there and you told the entire group the whole story, and I don't understand. How could you sit there and tell the entire group?
Should I respond now?
That's Heather. Like, Heather always wonders why she comes off as an asshole, or I imagine she does, and it's because of this. When someone's explaining to you what their beef is, and you say, you should say, got it. I totally understand. Not like, is it my turn? My line.
Yes, I am done.
Well, I find this all a little bullshitty. First of all, I don't remember you saying don't repeat this. And then we see a flashback to Shannon going,
I don't want other people knowing. Please, whatever you do,
Please don't
Do not
tell
repeat this.
anyone.
I beg you. I beg you.
This will not go to the group. Don't you worry. Actors pledge. So, Heather's the whole thing is like, listen, I'd already heard the story, so I thought this was like public, which I think is like still not. I don't think it really works that way,
Yeah, and I think she's also like, you said it on camera, Shannon. Like, everybody's gonna know anyway. It's not like it was some real secret. It was a TV secret. Okay, you were
It was a
telling me
TV
because you wanted. Because before she was saying, I feel used, right? She's saying you told me that, which made me feel used,
Yeah.
implying that Shannon only told her that because she wanted her to bring it up on camera. But now her argument is, but you never told me it was a secret anyway, so that's why I did it. So, which is it, Heather?
It's a flimsy case on Heather's part, I do
Yeah.
believe. And so Shannon is just like, I thought like that night. Well, then Shannon also starts to lean into it. She goes,
You know what? I didn't feel any compassion from you either. I thought that night you would come up to me and say, Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you want to cry again? And Heather's like,
I was so worried for you. Are you out of your mind? Don't say that.
But I wasn't. You didn't ask me if I was okay.
That's bullshit.
Well, I feel like this is a big spin job. And I'll tell you, when I heard you on Jeff Lewis, I thought you're controlling your narrative. That's what you do. You did it years ago when David had cheated on you and you didn't want to bring it up with everyone. Let me wave my hand dismissively at you.
And here it all comes.
Well, I was trying to save my marriage. Ow, ow, ow. What are you doing? What, are you throwing bread at me?
Sorry, I got to use up this loaf.
I stole some from children today, and I have to do something with it.
Are you serious, Heather?
Yes, well, listen, you dripped out information when you want to drip it and when it's convenient for you. That's how you did it with David. I mean, and she tells us, we all knew David was having an affair and I wasn't going to blow up her family on television. But now that it's blown up, may as well swirl around a few ashes. Who cares?
So now we get in the Wayback Machine and go, we are going 10 years back to air out the garage. So we go to the pivotal scene where Shannon is yelling at Heather. And if people remember this season, it was Tamra who had actually stirred up all this shit. I mean, that was a terrible season for Heather too. She was really a villain that season. But Tamra had stirred up all this shit about Shannon's marriage. She had gone and told everyone, and Heather fell for it, and then Heather took the whole fall. But we now have this whole thing where Shannon's yelling at Heather for sending some sort of email or whatever it was for spreading gossip that David's been having an affair.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And Vicky, too. Wasn't Vicky kind of part of that, too?
It was, I don't remember because I think actually Vicky and Shannon were friends that season. But I remember Tamra and Heather were working together, and Tamra was really awful to Shannon, which is why it was so shocking the next season that Shannon became like really close with Tamra.
Oh,
and
okay.
remained close with her for many years.
Yeah. So then Heather's like, I don't want to be a part of this. And now Shannon's made me a part of this. And now I'm irritated. And so then this is back to real life or the flashback?
Back to present. Yeah, back to present.
Okay, so Gina's so then back with the other girls, Tamara's like,
I was up all night long because I was so upset. And I thought, what was Shannon's motivation? It was to turn Jen against me.
Gina's like, listen, I'll be honest. I think Shannon owes you an apology too. She does. Like, well, you're such a flip-flopper.
Yeah. And Tamara's like,
Well, Gina, if I tell you Shannon dug up information about you and consulted an attorney to find out if you threw shit Travis down the stairs, would you be upset about that?
like she says it so seriously. She
Just
says it actually
casually.
very slowly and seriously because you don't really know where the sentence is going.
And
We
Jen
sort of
goes,
do. But
Well, did that happen, Tamra? Did it happen? I mean, what are you doing? Tamra, if you're going to say something, just goddamn.
Gina goes,
Is
is that what happened? And she goes,
Yeah, that's why I said it's stupid. What do you think it was just a hypothetical?
and so Gina's like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna say Gina basically says, like, Travis's ex is a terrible person and was telling lies and says that this basically saying this all came from like the ex. The story came from the ex and it was a whole lie. And she says that the ex told bloggers that Gina beat up Travis, threw him down the stairs. And this is why she's really separated her home. I think it's because she was like, I don't want to be accused of beating you up and throwing you down the stairs. So I'm going to be in a physically separate place from you, and I cannot be accused of this anymore. I'm assuming that's what she means by that.
Yeah, because this lady's, I guess, crazy and trying to ruin everything, So then Tamra goes to Gina, and she goes to her side of the table, and she's like,
I'm only telling you this because you schooled me all day long. Do the right thing with Jen. You shouldn't have done that. But you said something to me that really hurt my feelings. You said, how do I know you're not going to dig up information on me? Well, I'm not going to dig up information on you. Your friend Shannon will. And that's who dug up information about you pushing Travis down the stairs.
She didn't dig it up. It was something that was in the blogs already. She didn't put it in the blogs. She read the blogs and said, oh my God, what's going on with this shit?
But she wanted to know, she wanted to get information, like if there was any court filings or whatever that she was going to bring up. Like she was going to, because remember, Shannon and Gina were beefing about like child protective services. So this was going to be Shannon's way of getting back. But amazingly,
again, she didn't do it.
She didn't, but amazingly, Gina does not fall for this tactic. Gina sees through it and sees what Tamra's trying to do, and she's actually more disgusted that Tamra would air this on the show to try to court Gina and pit Gina against Shannon than she is about whatever Shannon may or may not have done. So Gina is actually really, really turned off by this.
Yeah, and she's like,
yeah, Shannon tried to come in between me and Jen because she knew we're in a good spot. And she's like, you know what? Like, it's like your collateral damage in their situation. And he's like, well, so are you now. Jen's like, yeah, so am I. And this is all about you and Shannon. These conversations, I know, because they're both evil. And they're like, so what are we supposed to do? You've both been evil and you're both going to stay evil. Like, why are we even in this? Just be evil together and leave us out of it.
Gina was surprisingly sharp in this episode. I shat on Gina all last episode. I was really anti-Gina, but I have to give her props. She was really on the ball this time around. See, so the pendulum swings, and I'm like, actually, like, good for you, Gina. So Shannon and Heather walk back inside because they're basically like, because Heather basically says to Shannon, like, look, I did not think this was a private thing, and I apologize for breaking your trust. Do you accept my apology? I love how angry she is when she apologizes. Shannon's like, yeah, it's fine. It's freezing. And I don't know if it's the weather or just your personality, but I need to get into some warmth.
So then they go back inside and Gina goes, well, I'm pissed. I'm pissed, Tamra, but I'm pissed at you for not telling me in the first place. And Tamra goes, oh my God, I told you she'd blame me at the end. But it's complicated, you know? And now we have a problem, Shannon. She goes, oh God, well, what is it? What is it? May I be victimized one more time before I've even had a salad? Well, she told me that you were trying to dig up information about Travis. She goes, who? Travis.
I'm not familiar.
Randy?
Remember Travis? Is that like Randy Travis? Are you talking about Nancy? Nancy Travis? She's very good, very talented actress.
She doesn't even know what you're talking about.
with Taylor's husband?
She goes,
Yeah, there was a text message, this song about it.
she goes, oh my God, Tamra, you are so involved in that. You're the one who told me the story.
Then Tamra tells us,
When the article came out in June of 2022, I wasn't even in this group. Shannon was not speaking to me when this information came out, so how could I have even told Shannon, bitch? Fine.
Then
believe
how would
me.
you have known? Then why would she have asked? Oh, because she asked Taylor and Taylor told Tamra. Okay, I see.
or maybe Tamra talked about it on the podcast and Shannon heard. Oh, who knows? So I mean, their relationship. I think we've always known they've had a toxic relationship, but this episode is really exposing just how fucked up their friendship is. It's fascinating. So Shannon's like,
Blame me. Blame me. You know what? Happy birthday to me. My gift that I would like to receive from all of you is blame. Just blame me. No, honestly, I actually really like that. I would be really upset if I didn't get blamed for something on my birthday.
I am so fucking tired of you lying about me. Day 4 of my fucking trip. Tamra Judge is calling me a liar again. Well, guess what? I'm going home now.
She walks out again. Is there been an episode that Shannon has not walked out? I'm cracking up. So she's like, stop it. And Taylor says, or Tamara's like,
I spoke to Taylor on the phone last night. She confirmed it all and started RHOC's parole.
Okay, you know what? Stop.
and Katie is like, has there ever been a dinner with this group of women that's been pleasant? So it's crying, laughing, FBI. Like FBI gets thrown in like an emotion.
so Gina's like, I don't deserve this. Jen doesn't deserve this.
Travis doesn't deserve this. Ryan doesn't deserve this. Hot dogs don't deserve this. This gotta stop here. I don't want to hear it ever again.
Shannon's like,
Oh, what the fuck kind of person are you penning me out to be? My purpose in bringing it up to her, number 1, was to clear my name that you're the one who investigates everybody.
Bullshit. You know what? Get your face the fuck away from me. Oh, what are you gonna do? Hit me?
I'm like, oh God, wow, Tamra going for. She's like, I want my trailer moment.
Let's do a trailer moment. Let's both stand up and rattle some glasses. It'll be in the trailer. Everyone's gonna love it, Shannon.
And I was
I
like,
know
oh
she's got
God,
it twice in
no.
an episode. The first one was,
What are you gonna do? Send a hitman after me?
and now it's, what are you gonna do? Hit me? And Tamara's just always like, what are you gonna do, huh? So Tamara's like,
Oh yeah, you did it to interrupt our friendship because you knew exactly what you were doing. Oh, and what did you do at Katie's party?
and Katie's like, you said ask Jen and Ryan about the FBI.
So we see a flashback of Tamra saying, like,
Ask her about the FBI, bitch. So Tamra goes, I apologize. Shannon goes, well, that's what you do, Tamra. You get super drunk and you say a bunch of shit and then you say, I'm sorry. Look how I turned the tables of drunkenness on you. Can we show the shot of Eddie staring at you while you were drinking? No? Okay, we'll just wait for later.
Oh yeah, well at least I didn't run my car into a house.
what is this episode? So Shannon goes,
Well, you hurt people when you do that. And I was also just walking Archie and a robot took over my car. And it was unfortunate, but it is just a statement about modern technology.
Oh gosh. So then Jen's like, this girl doesn't even know how to be a friend. And then the server holds up a chocolate birthday cake and there's candles. They're lighting the candles and getting ready to come out. And Gina's like,
Everyone's acting like a fucking toddler. Yeah, I'm out. I'll take an Uber or an Uber, whatever they call them here. I'm fucking out of here.
Don't bring children into this.
No, I said like fucking toddlers, not toddlers specifically.
So Shannon
oh my God,
storms.
thank God, because I think I just heard those toddlers say Heather Dubrow's mean.
How dare you?
Stop saying that. Drake may be watching. So Shannon's like, I am done with this. So she storms out, and then the servers come out with a birthday cake as Shannon is exiting the front door. They're like, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the American. And they're like, oh God, Shannon's missing her cake. And Shannon goes, me walking out of this door, that is growth. It is also exactly what I've been doing for 10 years, but I will just call it growth
I was
now.
gonna say you literally do it every episode. And Tamra's like,
I'll take the cake. Happy birthday to me, bitches.
and then she blows her bitch 19 all over it so nobody can eat it in peace.
It is like that was a breathless episode. That was scene after scene after scene, like the dirt they were digging up. It was wild. I couldn't believe it.
This was a
that's gonna
very
go
good
down.
one. Loved
That should be a Hall of Fame episode for both Orange
Fantastic
County
season.
and Bravo. Yeah, it was
Fantastic
wonderful.
season. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. You want the videos? We're on Patreon. Don't forget to sign up for Patreon before everything changes next week. Get your prices locked in now. And we'll talk to you next time, okay? Bye.
Bye.